Now, more stories, insights, and analysis of Illinois policy and politics. This is Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute. Once again, your host, AM 560's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Chicago Tribune columnist John Kass. And John, Tiny Dancer's toady at CPS, Forrest Claypool, it was one of 14 school superintendents who signed a letter saying, give us more money to Governor Rauner, just, go along with the program.
Wouldn't you want more money? Especially, I want to know what's their pensions look like.
Oh, yeah, the salaries and pensions of the doctor. Oh, yeah, again, please. Part of the problem, of course, and CPS is just a disaster. I don't know how you could, frankly, in good conscience, try and hold people up for more money considering what is produced. If I was Forrest Claypool, I'd have difficulty sleeping at night.
Seriously, Danny, that is it's the civil rights crime of our age. People, they're doing this thing this week where the white progressives are saying, come on down to our school. Look, it's not a prison. It's not a crumbling prison.
Yeah.
Because you have little white kids from Jefferson Park, who know their colors and all that. But in other neighborhoods that really need help, the schools are not helping but hurting them. And substandard public education is a direct ticket to prison and an end of life.
Well, right. And so everybody wants to focus on, Rauner said they're crumbling prisons. We're arguing about whether most of the schools in CPS are crumbling prisons or not. Here's the bottom line. Most of them are not places that educate children. That's the point, and that's the only point that matters. And it is a disgrace what Claypool and Tiny Dancer and Karen Lewis and all of the honchos of Chicago and the Chicago Public Schools
and see, they know
do.
it. You know what?
Of course they know it.
If you talk to them individually, all of them are intelligence people. They know it. But they're trapped by the convention, by the politics and the formula of their own politics that they can't break out of it. The point is that you've been making for years that we should have done is to break that system up, allow these children to take vouchers wherever they want to go within the city, or in the city, take wherever you want to go, whatever school. Why not take that money and bring it to Leo High School? Leo men, they actually get an education. Danny McGrath makes sure of it, and some other guys there, and well, I don't know. That's me.
And you've got
I don't know. That's why I'm a conservative, to tell you the truth, because of issues like that.
And then you have this other development that 27 CPS principals are leaving their jobs, some for positions in the suburbs. This is not a story where the principals are the victims here, but it is worth noting the average CPS principal makes $135,000 before you get into the pension benefits. That's real money. And so for many of them to leave for greener pastures, it says something about the schools that they're ostensibly in, their position in the schools they're ostensibly in charge of. This goes to these other statistics that we don't talk enough about, the percentage of teachers who leave the teaching profession within the first 5 years, not because the money's not good enough or the benefits aren't good enough, but because they can't do what they got into teaching to do, which is instill in children a passion to be lifelong learners and to put them on a path to success. So they say, well, the heck with this, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Look,
do something else, and that's what happens.
And getting a job in good districts, teaching-wise, is like becoming a plumber at City Hall. It's hard. It's difficult. It's political. And how do I know this? I've been married to Betty for 30 years. She's a teacher. She's been trying to get a job for, 10 years. She works part-time and does other things in education. She's been looking for a job. I have a son who wants to be a teacher. He wants to be a teacher and a coach.
He's in college now.
He's in college. He's doing that. So I'm not talking to you about this from an anti-teacher position.
As if anybody's anti-teacher.
No, but nobody is. But I'm saying personally.
Right.
Which I don't usually do, but personally that's my view. But they want to teach. As you said, they want to instill confidence and curiosity in these kids so they will learn on their own. That's the idea. That's the point of education. To learn on your own.
Well,
right?
and here's the other thing that has happened recently. Troy LaRaviere, who is the principal at the school where my broadcast partner on the morning show, Amy Jacobson. Right, exactly. Where her children go to school, Blaine Elementary. He was the principal there. He's an outspoken critic of Rahm Emanuel. he is Laravie has some of the problems diagnosed correctly. He doesn't propose the solutions that you or I would propose, but he is outspoken. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter. He's been critical of the mayor, both in on camera as well as in print. And all of a sudden, he's out at Blaine, even though he was a rather beloved principal there and was doing a good job, apparently, based on what Blaine, one of the small percentage of schools that are actually doing a good job educating children.
In the one-party state, Dan,
well, but
anyone who stands out
right.
is considered a threat to Stalin or whoever the commissars are. That's how it works.
Isn't that it? Isn't that it? You can't, it's not good enough to vote for me. It's not good enough to be on my side of the partisan line. If you get out of line, then you get crushed.
Not only out of line, if you stand up and get noticed. Even if you do a good job and you actually get noticed, people will perceive you as a threat.
This
is human nature, which is why our founders understood human nature and understood that they had to have a government that wasn't efficient for that very reason. But what do we do in Illinois? What do we do in Chicago? We want powerful bosses to run things.
Yeah, right.
As if we're coming from Western Russia in the 30s, right? Like kulaks. Please, sir, please, may I kiss your hand?
Something about the founders calls to mind dangerous servants and fearful masters.